would you do if a Filipino man asks you for money?
I'm broke as a joke.
As we all know, it is pretty popular for Filipino women to ask you for money, scam you at times.
Sprinkle, sprinkle.
We are now pretty familiar with that situation, right? So, what if it's the guys who are asking you for money? It's kind of weird, but first, please subscribe to this channel and hit that like button, okay? Because I have a new background. So, let's get into the topic. Expats and locals, what do you do when men ask you for money? I'm looking for advice as well as just curious about what people do. At this point, I've already come to assume that anyone I met who's not from BGC or another wealthy neighborhood will eventually ask me for money. Like many of you, I don't mind being generous if I'm getting benefits. With women, it's one thing, and I judge the situation based on their tact. It's easy enough to just next a woman who asks for money before meeting or starts treating me like an ATM after a date or two. Always some family medical emergency, right? I prefer to have honest discussions about financial and lifestyle expectations early on in a relationship. I'm not an idiot, and I don't want to be in a relationship where either side feels exploited. But when men ask for money, it feels especially insulting. A few years ago, I got very annoyed by a driver I helped start a business during the pandemic who just kept asking for more and more until I cut him off. Since then, I've been asked a few times by other acquaintances. A few have been pyramid type investment scheme, and there was one outright scam attempt. How do you personally handle it? Just ignore their request? Politely decline? Block them? Explain why you find it insulting or annoying? With regard to the last question, are they shameless because they think they're not being annoying or offensive? Or are they shameless because they don't care? It's obvious right from the start that you're being scammed, and I respect the fact that you feel insulted that men are asking you for money. So okay, this is your situation. This is your side of the story, right? I don't think they have that enough thickness on their face to ask you for money if you didn't show them how much you're capable of doing, right? I know it might be, out of the goodness of your heart that you help them out. And thank you. Thank you for being that type of person. Even though you are exposed to all predators out there, you still chose to help those who are in need. And yeah, I have a lot of respect for people like you for doing that, actually, honestly. But maybe for me, I think the second time that person asked you for money again, you should have, well, I guess it already gave you a buzzing alarm that you are now being milked by that man, right? You could have just, this is just me, you could have just told him that, hey, I'm not comfortable doing this for you now. I helped you before out of the goodness of my heart, and I believe it worked out for you. But now that the pandemic is over, I guess there are more options now for them to earn, right? So you can just simply say no and then walk away. Cut ties if you're uncomfortable being approached like that by him. And now, other acquaintances are asking you for money as well. Well, maybe because they saw you helping other people in need. So there must be a little bit envy in them that, hey, you've helped this guy, like you don't even know him. You're not related or whatsoever. You're not even blood related or whatsoever, right? So maybe you can help me as well since you get the money. So it might be just a random innocent thought, I guess. Since, we all need money in a certain time of our lives, right? So maybe you're the very first option that they thought about because they see that you are a good hearted man and you are not stingy in helping others especially those who are in need. And I think it's just okay unless they're pushing you to help them financially, most especially. Okay, I mean, because for example, like I said, this is just me, huh? I got into trouble. I got behind my rent, whatever. I actually needed like maybe 500 bucks, something like that. And like we good, we talking, we homies whatsoever, right? And oh, I remember that one time you helped that jeepney driver like start over again during the pandemic, blah blah blah. And it's been in the past. And you look okay right now. So maybe I'm gonna try to shoot my shot, okay? So I'm gonna approach you. I'm gonna I'm gonna do my own spiel or something. I'm gonna shoot my shot, okay? Because I'm in need. But that doesn't mean that I want to scam you as well.
Or maybe I would.
But anyway, like what I'm saying is that you're gonna be the first person who's gonna come up to mind when it comes to that, okay? And don't take it against them unless I'm forcing you to give me your money. Give me your money, okay? You help this person. You help this stranger. You don't even know him, okay? You're not even brothers. Like, why can't you help me? Help me or I'm gonna expose whatever about you.
What the are you doing?
So, I mean, if that's the case, then yeah, that's a really terrible scam. Or could be blackmail, I don't know, or extortion or something. So, yeah, I mean, you can always we all have the freedom to say no, okay? And we don't even need to explain to them. We don't need to explain ourselves to people why we said no, okay? So just say no, move on. If they keep on pestering, yeah, if they keep on bothering you, cut ties, block them, The block button is a very miraculous button, okay? It sets ourselves free. So let's see what the people in the comments has to say about this. Rule number 1, never lend or give. Both are actually the same to a Filipino. Maybe yes, maybe no. It's still money, okay? Hi. Luckily, so far, the only man that asked for money was my former driver. He had some financial issues at home and he wanted an early advance for his wage, to which I obliged, without regret, even giving him and sharing my time and money giving him advice. Should his friends or someone not of my circle approach me for financial assistance or business ideas, I'd be hesitant and you'd be correct in having that initial response. However, I'd urge you to weigh the man. Read or learn the person's character before you commit your hard-earned cash to their plights. Not all of them are scammers or views you as a cash cow. I understand that learning about a person takes time. Perhaps they can be informed that if they were approached by a stranger, would they impart with their money as easily as they expect you to? I'd try very hard to not suspect, demean, nor offend the person asking, but handle the situation with sternness, but with empathy, tact. Basically, leave the discussion without making the other feel embarrassed or jaded. Well, okay. Thank you for this comment. I agree as well. Because, well, let's say he messed up again, He needed your help back then, and he needed help right now, right? I mean, for the second time whatsoever. So, you gotta weigh things, okay? Because he might be telling you the truth. And maybe, just like what I said earlier, he's shooting his shot again. Since maybe he has this impression that you already know him, right? And he feels like he already knows you, that you're a good-hearted man, that you're willing to help others in need. So he just shot his shot again with you. So you gotta weigh things first before being aggressively sensitive over the topic. But you gotta stay vigilant as always. Stay vigilant and wise. If that makes sense. As a local, even I wouldn't give money to anyone, not even close friends or family members. When they ask for money, just tell them that you're running on a tight budget. Then stand your ground. No matter how much they ask, not even 1,000, 500, 100, repeat as necessary. In time, they'll get that you'll never give out money. That's what I do, and it works 100% of the time. Okay, I mean, if it works for you, good for you. I have only met one Filipina and she's never asked me for money. I even got angry the first time we met because she bought a ton of ish for me to feel comfortable at her apartment and had to get a mini loan for it that she paid herself. Seeing stories here, I think it's better that I stay with this one and don't think that I can do better. I had a guy at the bus station try to carry my suitcase on the bus. I wouldn't let him, but he followed me on anyway. And then he demanded money for helping me. When I said no, he got really rude. I think these scams are common. Okay, well, maybe for that part, yeah, it's a scam. It's a scam. I mean, but because when I was in Boracay, right? Right after I landed at the airport, like everyone's like swarming the tourists like flies, you know. They were offering, especially once you reach the island, okay? Like everyone was swarming, like, hey ma'am, let me carry your luggage. Hey ma'am, let me help you out. Hey ma'am, would you like to take this tricycle, whatsoever, you know? But for me, those are not scams, okay? I mean, because those locals are simply living off tourism, okay? Plus, they are clearly offering you their services with your consent, okay? I mean, if it's with your consent and you agree that okay, please carry my luggage, and I'm gonna give you, you know, some little token of appreciation. I think that's perfectly fine. Okay, and please, if you got some little more, okay, since like I said, they only rely on tourism for them to have food on their table. But for this situation, I mean, you already said no, and he's still bothering you, forcing you to allow him to carry your stuff. I mean, it's a no for me, okay? Even as a Filipino myself, it's a no for me. Don't waste your time explaining anything. They won't listen because they don't give a freak what we have to say. If you're giving money to somebody, give them a small bit extra and say to them, I'm happy to help you now, but don't come back asking for more. The answer will be no. They will get the message. If they do return, you won't feel bad saying no because you already earned them. Okay, I mean, if this works for you, then okay. But for me, I mean, since you're gonna help, like you're about to do a good deed, okay? Regardless if they're just scamming you or not, you are about to do a good deed. So why not end the sentence with I'm happy to help you now. That's all. I mean, you don't need to rub it on their faces that there would be no next time whatsoever, right? The I mean, maybe just save those dialogue once they approach you again with the same thing. But I mean, if it's their first time and you see, like you can clearly see that they're having a hard time, I think there's no need for you to tell them that there would be no next time
No more, Mr. Nice Guy.
for this, you know. I'm just saying. I mean, it's just me. You do you, babe. No, they're shameless because you keep giving them money. You've become a target. I have never asked for money, nor do I lend money to family and friends. I would sometimes offer to lend someone money if I knew they're in a situation and I know them as not being a serial utangera or someone who constantly asks for money. I don't expect the money back, but they usually pay it back. If someone asks, just say no. Or if you feel you need an excuse, just say you don't have the money. Yeah, for me, it's also a practice, a common practice, okay? Like if somebody borrowed money from you and you see that they really need it bad, but they keep on promising you, oh, don't worry, once I get paid, I'm gonna pay you back with this amount. Or maybe if they borrowed like a huge amount from you, and then they're gonna tell you, is it okay if I pay it on installment because I only earned this much and I couldn't pay you like one time, big time, you know? I mean, you can sense the sincerity in there, right? But I mean, let's say you are this type of person. So for me, if they pay you back on their first borrowed money from you, I mean, it only shows that they are good borrowers. I mean, is there a term like that? I mean, they're good borrowers because they return your money. Okay. Now, if they need it the next time, for me personally, If I have it, if I have the means, I'm gonna lend it to them because they're paying me back. They just really need it. They're honest people. Okay? Now, if those people keep on borrowing money from you and never returning a single peso, a single centavo, and then the next time that they're gonna approach you, baby girl, I got bad news for ya. To assume only people from BGC and or surrounding wealthy neighborhoods have money is rather narrow-minded. There are wealthy families in the province who keep a low profile. In answer to your query though, I tip or give money to my discretion. I'm a local, not from Manila though, and not a stranger to these scenarios of relatives or strangers asking for money. I tell them upfront they're not getting any from me, or that's all they're getting, no explanations. If they ask for more, I leave. End of conversation. Like what I said, we always have our choices, okay? We can always say no and we can always choose to leave. All you need to say is no. No explanation required. I got tired of the daily barrage of give me money from kids, sad face with their hand out from the women, and can I borrow some money from strangers? I am no longer polite with my no either. I simply look at them and say no. The revealing thing about how people truly feel about you is their reaction when you tell them no. You know what I mean. The friendly, hey Joe, becomes after you decline the request. In regards to friends asking, I have had friendships end because I refuse to loan them money. Learn to set boundaries and to be limited in how you share information about what you do and your activities. This information often encourages them to ask you for money. Where do you live? Say Taguig, not BGC, unless you have to be specific. Your Facebook profile shouldn't reveal too much either. Saying, I cannot assist you as I have other expenses is a good way to decline without turning it into a big issue. They will always ask of it is less among the wealthier ones, but most of them will have some emergency at some point and tell you a sob story to convince you to lending them a bit. Funny how it is always a number divisible by 5,000. Is that true? I don't know. Just remember, the day you start saying no is the day you start having fewer acquaintances and more people who dislike you. Okay, and let me add to that. That's when you're gonna notice the real ones. They're gonna stay even if you don't help them. Okay. What do you guys think about this situation? Let me know in the comments, and please don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you all in the next video. Don't lend anyone your money, huh? I mean, you can donate it to me.